Alrighty, welcome back to The Devil in Detail, the Grendel Reread podcast. I'm Eli.
I'm Ben. Eli, we're back with our 97th episode for the fifth issue of 1993's Eisner Award-winning Best Finite Series, Grendel Warchild. This is the Versus Gorilla cover.
Yes, the first one that's non-Simon Beasley, back to Matt. And it's a pretty great issue. This is one that I feel like I have the most copies of because I love this cover. Every time I see it, I just grab it. And probably even before I knew the whole.
It's a really good issue. It's one of the best issues of the series so far, for sure.
A lot happens, a lot of world building, and maybe not like story wise, but we go different places and we see different clans and we see these different things. Different and like where the world's at right now, which I can totally enjoy. But before we get too deep in the proverbial African weeds of this issue, let's talk about what we've been up to. It's been a minute. What you been up to, Ben? What's going on? Your new job? Your great
just
stuff?
work, collecting comics. I went to a wrestling show put on by one of the writers of Oh Fuck Why, and
nice.
St. Mark's Comics was there, so I got a really.
The entire store was there.
No, they had overpriced wrestling toys and 3 short boxes of dollar books.
Wow.
There was more Mike Grell in these 3 boxes than I've ever seen in one place in my entire life. I didn't get any Mike Grell, but I did get all
just Warlord. Did we have some Green Arrow or what all?
It was the Star Slayer and some Warlord and some Green Arrow and
nice.
The other one, what's the other one? John Sable, all these guys. I didn't get any of those, but I did get a Flexman Tallow #1.
Ooh.
I got some Sandmans.
Nice.
I don't remember. Anyway, that's me. Work.
Tell us
beautiful
about
daughter,
you, beautiful daughter. Work.
We've got huge Grendel news after your turn.
Huge Grendel news. Just I finally launched the new Cosmic Lion website, and the new books are up. Weird Myths that really. This was a new thing, but really listeners for the Grendel cast of Devil in Detail kind of knew. I had been talking about it here, but the new website is live, cosmiclionproductions.com. You can go there and get Weird Myths, and the new books are coming soon. I've got meetings tomorrow to get everything new out. And so you can go there and you can listen to our podcast. You can watch a ton of videos, new and old, of myself and the different podcast projects. And so the new website is like the new hub for everything Eli. So check it out, cosmiclionproductions.com.
Excellent.
But, yes, it's going to be amazing.
And you have a Kickstarter running right now.
Running right now, almost done, about 8 days for the new Ghost Agents book that is called
Max Almond.
Man of Action. Max Almond, Man of Action. All right. Written by Craig. Well, written by Rocco Jerome. All the art by Craig CK. The first Ghost Agents book with all the same artists, and it's 4x8. So it's 2 panels per page, and when you open it up, you have a 4-panel across, sort of like your Far Side trade or your Garfield. So that's cool to put out something different.
Your Garfields, your Dilberts.
Your Garfields, your Dilberts, Foxtrot, yeah.
You know what's a good strip that I really like is Rose is Rose. Remember that one?
I don't know that one.
Oh, you'll like that one. It's very sweet.
But maybe not a non sequitur. That would probably be square.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. But yes, huge Grendel news this week. Coming out last week or the week before from Rose City Comic-Con. The amazing announcement of the brand new Devil by the Deed. Brand new art by Matt Wagner. Brand new words by Matt Wagner. Colors by Brennan Wagner. Huge news. Look at these fresh pages across. Oh my God. Look at holy shit. Look at that. Look at that.
I don't want to toot our own horns, but I feel like the phrase Master Edition has been used on this podcast in the past.
Wow.
That's what they're calling this. This is the completely redone, I am not a 24-year-old anymore edition of Devil by the Deed.
It's pretty amazing. And I think it's something that you've kind of been pining for on the cast as well.
it is a story that has so much untapped potential, and what Matt was able to narratively maneuver over 25 years of like telling this story like nonstop almost.
Yeah.
It's going to enrich the rest of everything. And I'm not saying that everything needs a master edition, but there's all kinds of places to enrich and clarify the story.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
know?
think what we need now is another black, white, and red, or red, white, and black, or white,
Yeah.
black, and red. We were talking about.
Just pocketing it out.
Yes. Take another couple sentences, new sentences that Matt's had, and turn them into strips again.
I think that this is the second most hype we're gonna get. The most hype moment will be like when this book is about to come out and like trailer drops for a TV show. That's like
because
that's gonna be like the most enthusiasm marketing boom they've ever had needed at once.
Well, now is this the book, the like lead into the show book they were talking about, or is there something else that's like in the world of the show that Matt's working on too? I think maybe it's just this. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think that this 120 page reworking of Devil by the Deed is you get what you get and the rest is all gravy,
Right. And like he said in the panel, he said like, he was working on Devil's Crucible and the other 3 books that are part of that whole thing. And when the Netflix stuff was announced, he was kind of like went to Dark Horse and was like, I love Prime, everybody loves Prime, but Hunter Rose is coming back, and so we should really like have something in the world of Hunter Rose that's out.
Hunter
and can
Rose
really
is always coming back.
Oof, he is always
coming back. He's
Ooh.
such a great character.
That Hunter Rose you like is coming back into style, like the little man in the red room in the lodge. Anyway, that's a Twin Peaks reference.
Twin Peaks? Yeah, yes. sure.
If we make a call back to like episode 1 of this cast when we were talking about Bob, and you were like, Bob scares me.
Bob scared the
Bob
shit
scares
out of me.
everyone.
Well, speaking of things that scare me, let's go into the void during the intro. I'm never sure if I'll come back.
Yeah. Vivat Grendel. It's like the devil is my best friend. Hunter Rose with the pen to the fork end, or till time end. Like Orion, Jupiter my kin, bloodline private. We control the whole shit. The wolf won't beef, then we feast off the rip. Behold the devil in detail. Behold the devil in detail.
All right, we are back. Thanks again to Manus and
Laserdisc.
Easy You Busy.
formerly
Laserdisc, for the great theme song. Again, I have spoken with Manus and Laserdisc. They're down. We're gonna have a new theme song soon enough.
We are?
Yeah, sure. What we should wait to do is when the show comes out, there's bound to be a theme song. We could maybe take that theme song, remix it, and then all right, we'll see what happens.
Thanks a lot, Easy You Busy.
So real quick shouts before we get into the cast. The Grendel cast zine, Love and Grendels, is still available to anyone who wants to leave a 5-star review or get anything going on there. I want to shout out to Tom Romero, who is our most recent reviewer. He got his cast, so shout out, dude. Thanks also to him for supporting Cosmic Lion and getting Wizard and Weird Myths and everything. So thanks, dude. And also a shout out. Now this is exclusive, you guys. You might not know. You might have seen it in the thing in the group. Heroes Are Not Hard to Find. The website out of North Carolina has these available. Apparently, they found them in the basement. They found some copies of this Grendel Batman signed by Matt with this exclusive thing here. You can get it on their website. There's going to be like a pop-up card right now, and it's also going to be in the comments. But y'all should grab this before it is sold out. It is both issues. both signed by Matt, and also the seal of approval by Shelton Drum. So get on this now while you can on the Heroes Aren't Hard to Find website. I got one, Ben got one, so can't be many left.
There can't be many left. Eli, you love the cover. You
I
love
love the
monkeys.
cover.
It's
It's great.
great.
Welcome back, Matt.
Welcome back, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get this recap going. We got Catherine Delaney's still here.
That's right.
And
Lettering by Kurt
this
Hathaway.
is the inking assist by Monty Sheldon.
I actually saw in the back while we're right here really quickly that the reason that Bob Panaha is no longer lettering is he was recently in a contract with DC, and he's on it, like he's in a only contract with DC, so he can only work with them.
Hey, what was the name of the guy from Heroes Con?
Shelton Drum.
Sheldon Drum, not Monty Sheldon.
No.
Okay, just checking. All right. This is chapter 45, Devil on the Veldt, which I don't know if I'm saying right. I think let's say that is a synonym for Savannah. I don't know. Or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Okay. After a brief respite from their frantic escape, Grendel and Jupiter had found themselves once again fleeing danger, this time from a random encounter with a pirate vessel. The freighter our heroes had boarded proved no match for the rapidly encroaching water thieves, and their only recourse was to attempt a desperate, bloody scheme conceived by Grendel himself. Meanwhile, the regent Laurel Asante continues to struggle hard to maintain the reins of power, having officially announced to the world that the heir has been both kidnapped and killed. Laurel's daughter, Crystal, however, has confided to her private guard a preternatural link to the young girl that the young girl shares with her stepbrother, an empathy that assures her this imperial news is either misleading or mistaken. Jupiter Asante is still alive. He sure is.
He sure is still alive. And while you're reading, I looked up Veldt, and VELDT was a short story by Ray Bradbury, a science fiction story from 1950. But the word Veld actually means, and this is basically what you surmised, open, uncultivated country or grassland in southern Africa. It is conventionally classified by altitude into high veld, middle veld, or low veld. That is a cool word.
That's why they call me Mr. 800, Eli.
Oh yeah, Reggie Jackson fan, or is that 300?
It's my verbal SAT score.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, don't ask about the math. Oh,
man. I went.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are on the Veldt.
Terrific.
Actually, this is water, so not necessarily.
This is water, not Veld yet.
No, we're in the verdant waters here, as the Prime Mobile shoots past the camera,
skips on over. Yeah. This is the same shot that I think the entire book opens up with.
It does seem like they're always on the move. They're always in motion.
Is this the issue that Diana said this is after the break, and that we're in for changes in inking styles?
I kind of thought that was
Matt
issue
and Pat.
6.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is
6
because I looked ahead and it changes drastically.
Yeah,
but there's things in here that are kind of nice. I really like Matt's treatment of the foliage. It has almost again like a Richard Corbin like finesse to it in a weird way.
I think even like a bit of a Conan or something like that, something that usually shows like those types of trees with these little dots.
Check out Bernie in all these panels, but especially the last one.
Yeah, getting that water. The team of Moreau and Delaney.
Yeah.
On the next page, we continue the travel. He comes up, he speeds up onto the beach, and then kind of goes like in the sand, and he's like, "Whoa!" And then he kind of like recovers himself.
He comes ashore. Is that what it is? When a boat kind of comes to land? I don't know what the fuck it is.
Right.
But I like that the snake is clearly like in motion, like it's startled by it. It's got some good good.
There's a lot of good like cut to wildlife in this book.
Oh yeah. Oh for sure. Now did you I took this first two panels of this sequence to mean that he was feeding the bike from his own power source.
Oh. I wasn't sure if it was one way or the other. We kind of come to learn that they're very like weary and
Oh yeah.
battered down
Oh
by
yeah.
like the elements. They've been on the sea for days. Oh, because the last one they just hit the open seas, and we were like, why don't they just fucking do this in the first place? And it's because the sun is heavy and the weather is insane, and like so it you know there's still a human under there for Prime, and
Right.
Jupiter's just a kid.
But he's like been in the sun. I think he's been both feeding the bike and also he has to release some of the power.
Oh yeah, okay, because he's
Right?
in
Or
the sun, he gains his
he'll
power from the sun,
overheat,
but
yeah, or something like that.
right,
Yeah.
right, he'll burn
That
his
would be
battery
cool,
out.
right? If they made him if they like OD'd him on light.
Oh, that'd be sick.
That'd be a cool story. All
Or
right, so
something where you see that he can expel that heat, almost like in Black Panther the movie, when he
yeah,
gets hit and he becomes purple and they go.
he becomes the purple Grendel.
Oh, that'd be sick.
So
All
they
right,
just walk into the bush, and then we talked a lot about cutting on the spread.
yeah,
This is really interesting because it's just one thin panel up top, and then there's 5 panels at the bottom. Back to the Sun House. Laurel meeting with this guy from Sweden who wants to host basically the Olympics of mourning for Jupiter's death.
exactly. Who looks like Joe Matt to me.
He looks like Joe and Seth, kind of like all those guys
Oh yeah.
thrown into one. He talks about that's is it Sweden?
Mhm.
Switzerland.
Oh,
That Switzerland has because of like geopolitics and war and any number of
The Great
things that have
Migration.
happened that yeah, that like they're just not who they were. And if we could just host the month of mourning, it would be really great for our tourism. And she tells them to do a run on drug chocolates, basically.
Yeah,
If you want
exactly.
tourism.
Well, over the next page, for this page, he's just like long-winded and saying stuff, and she's just like, yes, whatever, okay, okay, okay. And then on the next page, he's just like, yeah, try a month of pharma chocolates, like, okay. And then like it seems like this is all a narrative to serve to the point that she's like, number one, doesn't care. Number two, was never ready for the position after Orion died, and was never, just like, doesn't want any part of all this like leadership.
Yeah, it's not a tenable situation. She explains that sorry Switzerland, we're gonna be having those events at Mount Rushmore.
Exactly.
The most important site.
Yes,
the-
that he
in
always
the
spent all his
story.
time. I always
Check out
think about that
the
one panel of him and Orion playing like with the ball on the deck and stuff, maybe the last issue.
yeah, oh yeah. Check out Laurel, the foreshortening on Laurel's pinky in that last panel on 3. That's very nice.
The last panel of 3.
Yeah, the last
Oh,
panel
yeah,
on
wow.
3. Yeah. Look at
That's
that.
really good.
Okay.
I love here on 4, back again on 4, just Matt's inking the feathering 1, 2, 3, panel 4 right before the slam, like the guy's sleeve. Just beautiful. Like Matt
If
as an
you-
inker is like,
Yeah. Well, that's what I saw in issue 6. Is that it moves really heavily in that direction,
right.
at least for that part of the story. So all these guys, she doesn't want to deal with anybody, any of the administrative work.
She's like, I'm in mourning.
Yeah. And then this slam it reminded me of Dave Stevens.
Yeah.
Very, very light, very cartoony, very tropey, and definitely not the kind of panel that you would normally see in heroic genre fantasy.
Right. Again, later in this book, there's a point of a very humorous panel. Again, that's like you wouldn't necessarily see in this swashbuckling sword and sorcery or sword and whatever, very, very cool stuff.
I think it's, it helps Matt release the tension and not take himself too seriously. And also, like, if we need an idea, we can, like, comic relief. It's so spare in this book, like it's novel when it occurs.
Right. But again, we love Matt so much, his storytelling, because he doesn't. We love him. We love you, Matt. No, I'm saying we love his storytelling so much, like because he doesn't just go into these conventions or go into these boxes like this is an action book, this is a comic book, this is what.
Yeah, he
So
does it,
you
certainly does it his way for sure.
that's what we like. On the next page, we see this disembodied hand kind of pouring
Oh,
this
you didn't
vial.
leave. You didn't do the last tier.
Oh, right.
Is
Okay.
is Laurel hypocritically complaining about these
Everyone's dumb
pampered,
but me.
yeah, these pampered idiots, and then Heath stops her as a cliffhanger that there's this mysterious paper wrapped package.
Yeah.
And
And shout to Pat on these hands in the second to last panel because any artist knows that these are some of the hardest. Like getting like this shit to be right and to feel right, not easy stuff.
Sorry to interrupt you. Speaking of hands on 5, tell us
Hands
about
on
this
5.
disembodied hand in the foreground of 5.
Well, he begins pouring this vial of liquid into the stream where they're looking to get water. Prime, takes off the bottom half of his mask, the breathing apparatus or whatever that's on there, and he just glugs it himself. I thought maybe he was testing it at first, but they're so weary that he just drinks it, puts some in his hands, pours it in Jupiter's mouth, and like you can see the detail on his lips there on the last tier, second panel on the last tier.
All
They're
chapped and shit.
Yeah, chapped and everything.
Yeah,
so the heat
he's all
and all of
fucked
it's been really affecting them. We get
This is a
another
great page.
great
There's a lot of
page.
good stuff. Check out Bernie in the background in 2 and 3, especially in 3.
Yeah, we'll check out Bernie on the second to last one. They're like,
For
was
sure.
there black lines that they just dropped out there? Did Bernie just do that whole panel? Like,
Well,
very
it's
cool.
funny because it looks like there's some happy accidents going on there.
Yeah,
Look at the way, like, it's a much flatter drawing. Like Jupiter is not lying back in this drawing; he's sitting up. Look at how his chin. If you draw a horizontal line, the chins don't line up.
right.
So, and also, what happens is that the proportion of the paladin's hands to Jupiter's head gets very psychedelic. So I think that they kind of purposefully may have given Bernie like something very loose to work from.
Like this is almost like from the paladin's eyes at this point, where it's kind of like unfocusing and kind of like for a second he's like, oh shit. He's like, huh? Like that. Yeah, the moment where you dropped the acid an hour ago and you're like, it's not working, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit. Now it
look
is.
Look at the way Bernie uses solid colors in the last 3 panels in the backgrounds: green, red, blue with fizzies. Very, very direct and simple.
Right. The action is in the foreground. Next page, we kind of see, and here's the red. This is, everything is turned red. Again, that's such a mood choice for the coloring. And he's like, and Prime is just like, no, this can't. Thud. But, even in his last thought, I guess he was atop, Jupiter already, but like he still, passed out on top of him because like his charge is to keep this boy safe, and he's going to do that even if he's unconscious.
Yep. We're gonna cut back to Laurel and
Sunhouse,
and in the Sunhouse, and this
what's in the box? What's in the box?
And there's this very wonderful like tension and release sequence.
But he's just like, it is a bomb, I believe.
It is a bomb, and then it goes off, and the smoke wafts out through the Sunhouse and clears through the office, and it's just shit and garbage and banana peels exploded all over.
Yeah. It's like one of those things you send to your enemies that's like a glitter bomb or something like that. It was basically just like a
bomb. Yeah.
Just like a trash bomb.
I gotta tell you, the way that they end this, these 2 political schemers and machinizers, he says, "It would appear, madam, that someone does not believe your announcement on the heir of the death. So it seems." So someone said, like, bullshit. That's the statement. There's a lot of leaps and there's a lot of steps that it takes to come to that conclusion.
Yeah, like maybe if they said,
I'll allow it.
Maybe if they didn't say it was garbage, maybe if they said it's bullshit or like it's shit, because like your announcement is bullshit type of thing. But
Who's to say? This is a very well laid out page.
Very sweet with this like diamond shape, which is actually like the light coming in from these these big windows and stuff.
Yeah.
Again, the sun house looks so cool. All right, we flash back to Prime wakes up. Jupiter, no. Well, no, we think he wakes up. He's tied to a pole. He's like, get away, get away. And we see this super cool Grendel python. Is it a python? What is it called?
Cobra?
Cobra. Yeah. King Cobra
becomes him.
Prime
The
Cobra,
becomes him.
And then you know, like if this was maybe a video, it would come at the screen, the mouth towards the camera, fade to black, fade to he wakes up in a bed. He looks and sees like an African mask. He's in
and he's not even tied up.
Nope.
He's just comfortably in bed.
Yep.
Nice
He
big
looks
space.
and sees a wood burning stove, some guns, and they say you're finally awake. The next page, we see Abu Nelson Bujar, leader of the local clan. And here's like this world building stuff that I really enjoy, seeing how these different clans, different peoples, how it like mixes, and how like the Grendel iconography mixes with the local indigenous iconography. Super cool.
Yeah, this guy's got it's not, you can't see it on this page, but he has like ritual scarring in the shape of Grendel. You can't see it until the next page.
With like the kind of like the circles that like
his
modern
medallion has Grendel eyes on it though.
Right, exactly.
All right, so he tests the paladin with the oath, and blah blah blah. You're safe here. My favorite part about this book is the open flame in the stove, and how it puts a little bit of orange on the rims of him.
Right, yeah,
that was my favorite book.
But then it's interesting. He says, some power source, like wondering if they looked him over, because we still at this point, we don't really know how much of the paladin is metal, how much is robot. We don't know. We think, and I think the reader at this point thinks this is just a dude in black leather.
Right. The other thing that Abu Nelson Bujar tells him is that, oh wow, you've got some power source, and yet the boy woke up from the tranquilizer before you did. So I think what it's saying is that there's sort of a dichotomy between the incredible power of the cyborg technology in you and a part of you that remains human.
Right. Exactly.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
This flame looks great on this spread.
On 9 and 8 and 9.
Yeah, it's like, this is the Bernie then.
And even on 8, how there's like a little bit of blue there in the bottom.
Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so they continue chatting, and here's where we learn a little bit how exhausted, delirious, how long they were on the open water there, just sun beating down on them, no food, no water to drink.
2 weeks. I actually think they do. I think they did have food because they were towing. They were towing
that whole thing, but they didn't have it. So
it's gone. Yeah,
right. And he let the thing go because they didn't want to use the extra energy, because I don't believe that it's gas for a second. It's probably electric, or it's probably and if it is electric, then the paladin was charging it by filtering the sun's energy through his power source and then powering the bike. However, I thought earlier that it wasn't, but who knows?
What we're going to learn on this page, this one fantastic world building page with Abu Nelson Bujar, is that he is on their side, and that the world is clearly delineated, and that I will keep your secret. No one needs to know it's you. He sends them to get supplies. But the one thing that I really liked is the center panel. He remembers his life before the rule of the Khan, and he thinks that things would be best in the hands of his chosen. So that is to say, not Laurel Asante.
Right, exactly. And just, he says, keep hidden, hide the boy, stay to the outskirts, but you should be just safe. So, continue your journey. Vivat Grendel.
Yeah.
Cut to Gecko.
Cut to Gecko.
Panel out. This next panel here really reminds me of this artist that I really love from Mad, and he's an underground artist too. The name's escaping me right now, but I'll put it in there when we edit it.
It's Rick Geary.
But we're continue along here to see that they're like in this marketplace. Kind of, I mean, humorously, he said, "Stay out of the public eye." Next page, here we are in the public eye.
Yeah, but notice how they're all smiling for the first time. Jupiter's smiling.
That's right.
Paladin's smiling.
Yeah.
Like there's like almost normal stuff happening on these.
That's right.
On these first 2 pages.
They're kind of just walking through. They're like, we need provisions, so we're here at the market. We're gonna get some stuff. And again, it is kind of happy. Like, we need cornmeal and oil. We need to fill our water jugs. And then here we really do see that smile. He's like, and maybe a few mangoes and bananas. Like, we can take a minute to like treat yourself. Take a moment for some sweets. But in that same moment, we see.
Did you notice we see the guy who's spying for the, he's Heath's man on the inside. Did you notice how like among all the huts in the Shook, there's these like computer checkout consoles.
That's right. Super old school computer looking.
Yeah.
C://
Heath takes the call. It's very convenient, but I'm sure Heath's not getting the call from that guy. I'm sure it's gone up the ladder a few.
You might be right.
I'm sure that guy doesn't have a direct line on Heath.
Direct line to Heath. He reported it to the local magistrate, who escalated it to the head of the South African whatever. And
later on, Heath will talk about. I think it might be the end of this exchange, or maybe the next one. That there's a clan that wants some imperial favor, and they're the ones that are gonna. It's basically making everyone choose between, Heath and Laurel or Orion.
That's right. That's the original idea of the Grendel and the Grendel Clan versus like who's in charge now.
Yeah. And what can they do for me?
Right. Versus not like, in his name I pledge, and I I shall lose name, station, face, so they're not worried about that. They're only worried about station, I guess.
Yeah, so Laurel's pitching a fit, and basically the point is that at the end of it, she says, even dead, that fucking kid is more trouble than he's worth. And then it cuts to the statue of Orion in front of the Sun House. Right. And I got to tell you that those 2 panels are like, they're almost graphic matched in composition. Like her position is very, very similar to his. And I think that it just goes to reinforce the choice that we described about like, are these clans with this person who's obviously not the inspiration that she's like, whose shoes she's trying to fill? Or are we going to stand up for the ideal that changed the world and all of our lives?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that's exactly what that's showing. We see Heath, we see Laurel, and then we see Orion, and it's just like these are the powers that are moving things right now.
Yeah.
We head back to the Veldt.
The Veldt.
Where we see some. Yes, this is the Veldt. Here we go. Where we see a herd of
giraffes.
Giraffes. Yes. Is it called a herd? A flock? A murder of giraffes? Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Running here, and they kind of are riding alongside, and Jupiter's like, oh my god.
Jupiter's having a great formative childhood memory.
Yes, exactly. They're on safari here.
Yeah. And he's having a great time.
Yep. Above we see this maybe hyena or cheetah. Or China.
Yeah, it's symbolic for the eyes that are
right. Oh, the predators that are very cool. Good eye, Ben.
Right. I really, really can't emphasize this third panel of Jupiter experiencing joy enough.
Right.
This is a character who hasn't spoken. We're 5 issues in, and he doesn't have any lines.
That's right.
It's all he's passive as all these things happen to him, as he's dragged by the wrist through the horrors of this world. And he finally gets a little bit of respite from that.
Right.
You can
Some
practically
acting to
feel
do.
you can practically feel the paladin smiling behind his mask in panel 3.
Exactly.
Love it.
Yeah.
Things suck for Laurel. She's buried under a pile of bureaucratic paperwork, and she takes a call that she doesn't want to take, and she's surprised to see that it's Crystal, and they get into their spat comes to a head basically.
Yeah.
They've had conflict before, but here comes the political threats from Crystal at the end. Go Bernie.
Well, yeah, and she's even like, she's like, this is bullshit. And she's like, what did you say? He said, this is bullshit, mom. And she's like, I've had enough of your lip. And she's like, what are you so afraid of? Like, what am I going to say? Like, you're afraid of what I'm going to say to like maybe some certain Grendels, like about what you've been doing or whatever. And
Yeah,
it's just like,
she has all the dirt. She knows everything. It's like Kellyanne Conway and her daughter,
yeah,
and the lunatic conflict that they were having, probably like after Biden got in. I'm not sure. I don't recall exactly.
right. Where
But
she was like tweeting about how terrible her mom is and stuff. And so funny. All right, so
these
on the next
panels,
page, or
okay.
still on
All right.
15?
I just want to compliment Bernie. I
Yeah.
love the way Bernie does those faces.
Does
All
again
right,
the
yeah.
green screen of the computer, the yellow skin.
So I'm not sure on 16 what exactly. I'm not sure if the joke is that, like, is the did it says click in panel 2, so she did hang up, or did she not hang up and Crystal just got a front row seat to her freak out and humiliation? I was very unclear on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she clicked, end on the Zoom, but like didn't click it down. She got mad, and this sight gag of these towering things coming down on her, and
Right.
I don't know. Maybe she didn't see because they would be portrayed as laughing here or something like that.
Right. So, I feel like maybe the camera angle on the last panel is what makes it confusing. Like if we could see that the screen was off, I would be much less of an asshole about this.
Right.
Or myself,
well, but they both have this like bemused look on their face, like they hung up. That happened.
I think they're processing and like sort of like thinking on the moment. But you're right. This panel where she's buried, it looks like it's like a Jack Davis Mad panel.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Wally Wood or something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
On the next page, we're back to the Veldt, and he's speeding across. And on the previous page, on 14, you see this hyena or the cheetah, like he's looking and watching Prime go by, and then he turns his head to the other way, and in the far distance, he can see across the Veldt these smoke and dots of the upcoming
the Red Devils are coming. This panel sequence up top. I love that the sun is just always in the same
spot, so it's the same view, and the rock, and he comes speeding by, and then the Red Devils are speeding by, and then in the last panel you kind of see Jupiter being like, oh shit, I hear that.
Right. And Jupiter, there's a few places in this issue where Jupiter's like just like reacting like all bug-eyed to what's going on.
Right.
There's a few things in the sequence, like in panel 3 when all the smoke is in there. Look how the rock gets obscured.
Right.
And then when the Red Devils come in, their engines have a different hum and it bleeds off the page. Classy.
Yes. So
nice.
All right, so then we continue along here, and they're cruising now off the Veldt and into the Verdant. No, wait. Veldt still does mean like grassland, right? Yes, it means uncultivated country or grassland. Okay, yeah. So they're still in the Veldt. They're cruising along, and he goes into the woods, and just as juxtaposed against the woods that we're in, we see Heath saying they've entered the mountain, and they've maintained their lead. They've entered the mountain country in the grass. Like continue, and now he's saying maybe Red Devils peel off because I've got this clan that's looking to gain things. But he says Go to the nearest village and find a drum modem. Interesting. What is that?
A
I love
better
that.
modem. I think it
Yeah.
means a better modem.
It doesn't mean like drum, like an African drum, how they were
I would-
used. Because African drums were used, in my
Oh,
ethnomusicology
interesting.
studies from back in the day,
Oh, and
drums
then
were
there's
used as communication from village to village.
drumming on the top of the next page. There
Yeah.
you go.
Exactly.
Okay, there you go.
Interesting.
Alright.
That is very cool to me. I want more of that. All right, so
Alright.
they're going through the woods here, and we see these the locals going through the woods, going through the trees, tops of the trees, getting ready to take their bow and arrow and fire. We continue on 20. Whip, arrows flying through the air.
Flood of arrows. Yeah, this is a great layout. I really love the diagonal left-handed stack to reveal this guy in the tree, and then the last panel where all those arrows sitting in the foreground on the solid black silhouette of the background. Really,
Absolutely.
Really nice.
So much action, so much spoken in these wordless panels. Again, I meant to say this earlier, but Matt posted again today that he finished Primal, Gennady Tartakovsky's Primal. Absolutely insane. I finally watched a few episodes. Absolutely everything Matt says, masterclass in storytelling, incredibly beautiful. But every time, because Matt who told us about it, I just think Gendy doing Grendel would
really
be
tough
absolutely
time with
insane.
his name.
Well, because I said it wrong for like 20 years. I said Gennady.
Gennady.
Like Gendy. Gendy. Yeah, something.
All right,
like
great.
All right.
So anyway, Gendy Tarkovsky's gonna do the animated.
We need him doing
That's
Grendel. Good. He's gonna do the Prime
That's
animated
good.
series. It's gonna be sick.
All right, so then these guys got him surrounded, and some people
They're
get
out of the
lightsabered,
jungle.
and it's no good.
But I love this because in the second panel, he's coming through, and you're almost like, is he like stopping? Because he could just plow over these dudes. And he just pulls out his lightsaber, plows over some dudes, chops up some dudes. Another amazing paint splatter by Bernie and Catherine. Just ripping through. On the next page, he continues. Oh, but it almost looks like the sidecar's open, but he closed it. Oh, that's maybe he opens it when they get out in the open and he doesn't get to. Anyway, all right. So then he continues to chop through people until the chief says, "Enough! You are a mighty warrior. You're a mighty warrior, Grendel. Let's stop this before we lose any more of my people." Because there's someone, and this is what you're saying is the kind of Indiana Jones. We've got our guy. Our hidden weapon here.
Yeah, they bring out this feral gorilla with scarred Grendel eyes.
Yes,
so
a Grendel.
I don't know if there's we weren't sure if there's some kind of implication other than how awesome this is.
So sick. I could, have a whole issue with this. And then on the next page, he's just like, this one, he got death in his eyes, in his fucking crazy fucking soul. And so, he goes, and he just comes at him, and just like slaps him back, starts doing the pound thing. Wham, 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 whump. On the next page, Grendel just does that smash on his temples. He crocs him. I love these little circles. They do this circle panel all the time, superimposed. And then, he kind of runs away. He's got the gun, and he just, that's it. The battle is over almost as fast as it begun. He gets back on his trusty steed and rides into the sunset.
Right. And the guy says, run. The whole world's about to find out that you're really alive. So it's that. Whose vision are you loyal to? Laurel can get you stuff now, or Orion change the world. Okay.
All right. That's the issue. We get into the afterworld. It's the Brian Lee Sung story. And Grendel's Lair. The letters column, some interesting things in there as always, but I'll leave that for you to check out. In the back, we do get a sweet ad for the Army of Darkness comic that must be coming out. The film's probably coming out around the same time. That's it. We do get one interesting question because like Predator and Alien are at Dark Horse now. In the letters column, someone asks, will we ever get a Grendel Predator crossover? Would be sick as hell. Diana says very succinctly, no, I hope.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. That's not
No,
what we
thank
do
you,
here.
crossovers.
Oh man, great issue. Really fun issue. Great work by all involved. Another classic.
Another classic, friends. You heard it here first.
So
Well,
what do you think?
Eli,
We're halfway through this
this is
10 issue spread.
this is one of my favorite issues so far. I like this book a lot. I think that it gets better and better and better. But it's not overall, it's not my favorite for a few reasons, mostly just because there's so many other really great books. So I'm enjoying it. I feel like the issues do continue to get better, and then the finale is really, really strong.
Right.
But I think that this is a good issue. The last one wasn't my favorite, but they continue to build it, I think, if memory serves.
Right. And as the narrative grows and as the plot thickens in all these, the art is also getting better as we learned. And it's all just coming to a head in issue 10, which is going to blow up soon. Let's see. So this is episode 97, correct?
Yep.
So 98 will be 6, 99 will be 7, and then we'll take a quick break for issue 100 for our 100th anniversary spectacular, which we're working on building something awesome for that, so y'all can look forward to that. And then we'll get back into finishing this, and then we'll be off into Grendel Tales, I think. Super excited for that.
We'll almost be off into Grendel Tales.
Oh, what's next? What are we going into?
We gotta ask Matt what's next, but it's either Greg Rucka or Batman Grendel 2 or
you might be
Devil
right.
Quest. I think Devil Quest is later.
Interesting.
Yeah, because Devil Quest is about I think Jupiter's son or another Jupiter. Might be Jupiter to the third or Jupiter to the second. I don't know. Anyway,
so we're going to try to continue in chronological order and not in publishing order. So we'll see what we can do. We'll try to figure that out.
Matt will tell us, I'm sure.
Matt will tell us, yes. Or if anyone out there has any ideas
or you'll tell us.
Yes.
Yeah, join the conversation in any way, but especially to tell us what the reading order is.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. So, Vivat Grendel and
keep on Grendling.
Sweet, dude.
Terrific.